can't all be sports fans. Some people are more artsy. Others have political aversions to it. Some people refuse to support it for the fact that they find it elitist. And some just don't really feel like hearing the political ideals of players and want them to keep their opinions to themselves. There are several reasons why someone may not like sports, but whether they like it, see it, or not, sports and the economy of it affects their lives in ways that they cannot imagine. The casual fan may not see the impact of sports on the local economy. Many of these amounts are actually staggering, however, and the way of life that people in their cities, the way of life for people in the cities would change entirely if a team packed up and left overnight. There are 4 major sports in the United States. They are hockey, baseball, basketball, and football. The large United States cities of New York City, Los Angeles, Boston, Dallas, Chicago, Miami, Detroit, Denver, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, Phoenix, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. all have one thing in common. They're the only cities in the United States that have a team from all 4 of the major sports. By no coincidence do these teams also have some of the largest markets in the entire United States. The correlation is very obvious. They're big market cities with high economic prosperity for all the people within them. Notable omissions are things like Houston, Memphis, San Diego, Orlando, maybe even St. Louis, but for the most part, the previous list of cities are the centers of economic prosperity in their respective states. Therefore, having teams like this in your cities help to create economic booms, which creates more money for leisure and allows these teams to create money to go into their pockets, more or less. According to the USA Today, the Chicago Cubs routinely make the entire state of Illinois $600 million in 1 year. Major organized sports aren't the only way that a city can benefit, though. In 2010, the New York Marathon, according to the New York Roadrunners Association, the New York City Marathon boosted the New York economy by over $340 million. Before the tragic events of the 2000, I believe it was 14, maybe 15 Boston Marathon incident, the New York City Marathon, was the mecca of marathon running in the United States. These people would come from far and away for distance runners all across the United States. On a one-day event, it can generate $340 million. People come in, they need housing, they need food, some of them buy running equipment while they're there. It changes nothing. Organized sports aren't for everyone, but they do affect the economy of everyone, because the economy of the state of New York is the economy of the state of New York, whether you're a sports fan or not. I've said it multiple times. The sports industry in North America is a $70 billion industry. All of this money has to have an effect on the economy in some way, be it locally, statewide, nationally, or internationally. Another way that it can have an effect is on the influx of jobs. According to economic modeling specialists, as of the year 2013, the sports industry in the United States has produced 456,000 jobs, with an average salary among them of $39,000. This may not sound like a large monetary figure, but it does include things like local youth referees, concession workers, ticket and admissions vendors, aisle vendors, and then the more stereotypical player, coach, and general manager ideas. These super rich franchises, however, don't just pocket all of their money. Much like college or stocks, it's an investment. It can be viewed like this in a lot of ways. One of these will help to grow their business, spread the word, and do general good in the community. This example is a foundation of some sorts. For example, the Boston Red Sox Foundation, which according to the Boston Globe has raised $52 million from the years 2002 to 2012. This money is typically used to give grants and fund community programs in the local areas. As everyone in here knows, I'm a giant sports fan, and I believe that the idea of how sports can affect anyone more so, or can affect people more so than any others, is the ways of galvanizing the public and giving an area a sense of pride. I'm old enough to remember the first Red Sox game after the Boston Marathon bombing. I've seen images and videos of the first Mets game after 9/11. I remember being at a Rangers game a few days after the Dallas sniper incident. I wasn't alive to see it, but I have seen images, videos, and reactions of the Miracle on Ice after the United States defeated the Soviet Union and what it meant to the country of the United States. I will also always remember till the day I die where I was standing during the final match of the 2010 World Cup group stage, when I was standing in line to ride the Incredible Hulk at Universal Studios, when Landon Donovan scored a goal that sent the entire line into a frenzy and the entire nation into a frenzy as well. This pride can also be measured in the amount of national pride that overcomes a country every 2 or so years whenever the Summer and Winter Olympics come around. My point is that sports has a profound effect on national pride. Around the world, countries are judged on their soccer prowess, whether they're the best team. If whoever has the best team, every 4 years at the World Cup has bragging rights over the entire world for the next 4 years until the tournament starts back up again. And Americans, more than most, thirst for a sense of national pride. According to FIFA, 200,000 World Cup tickets in 2014 were sold to U.S. residents, even though the tournament was on the other side of the world in Brazil. My point is that sports can have a profound effect on national pride. And around the world, I've just read that, Imagine losing out on all of these things overnight. Imagine the clubs not churning in so much money for the state of the Cubs, not churning in so much money for the state of Illinois, or the people of America not having something to galvanize and rally the people in an often diverse and divided country. Imagine the impact on the city of Arlington had they not drawn the Dallas Cowboys to build a stadium in their city. According to Mayor Robert Cluck, the revenue stream of the Dallas Cowboys Stadium has been so vast, and with the naming rights being sold to AT&T recently, it has cut the time to pay off the stadium in 10 years. Couple that with the fact that it has increased jobs and sales tax revenue in the region, then the entire value of it has worked hand in hand and has been a win-win for everyone. When the team is doing well in a city that is doing well, the idea of always supporting the team is very true. Because the worst thing that could happen for a team in a sports-driven city is for the team to pick up and leave, and then a big empty facility just be sitting there with no one in it and have no use for it.